Hey everybody, it's Stephanie with Festive Creations by Stephanie. How the heck are you? I have some items already started here on my table, but I'm going to catch up on everything that I've got done so far. And I'm just doing that just basically to help save some time. You know, there's nothing better than watching paint dry, right? So, all right, so we're going to make a 3-tiered tray, and we're going to be using several objects. Most of these are from Dollar Tree. This is a pizza pan. I've already taken off the label, but this is their pizza pan. We also have a Dollar Tree pie pan, a cake pan. We've got 2 candle holders from Dollar Tree, and we're going to start out by taking our surface and just giving a light sand. And what's really awesome about this is because it's going to have kind of a distressed look to it. So it doesn't matter if your sanding is even, or you know how you worry about going against the grain or going with the grain. So we're just going to give it a light sand. Then I am using some Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster. So I chose to go with the kind of off-white color for this, just so that it would have more of a vintage look. I'm not real formal because we have such a huge surface. Let me zoom in here, everybody. Let me come on down here. So because this is such a large surface, I just pour the paint right on it. If I have extra, no worries. I've got other things I've got to paint, so we're just going to paint those away. You can use the sponge brush like I have, or a bristle brush. It really doesn't make a difference. Y'all, I didn't put my paint shirt on today. Daggone it. All right, so I do have some extra, so let me prep another pan. We'll take our pie pan and get it ready. A little bit of glue left there, and give it just a light sand. And the sanding will kind of help the paint adhere better to the tin of the pans. And you notice that I'm not sanding every square inch. I'm just kind of giving it a light once over. Then once you get those painted, set those aside to dry. And let's do the inside of this pan. Still a little much on that one, but we'll put that aside. So we'll do the inside here. All right, so as these dry, we're gonna get a fresh paper towel and let those dry for you. All right, so we're gonna let this dry. I have let the back side dry already, and that is gonna take a minute. But let's talk about these while that is drying. I may actually take the blow dryer to it just to kind of speed things up a little bit. So I've seen this done a couple of different ways. Number one, with candlesticks from Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree has clear candlesticks, glass candlesticks, but I liked the look of the wire candlesticks that are black already. And what we will be doing is adding some E6000, which is, E6000 is an industrial strength glue. So we're going to be using that, plus we're going to be using hot glue. The E6000 takes 24 hours to secure completely. So obviously that's not going to be completely cured by the time we get done with this project. So what I do is I use my hot glue for an instant adhesive, and then the overnight, the E6000 will kick in as well. If you don't have E6000, it is one of my favorite glues in the world. All right, let me go ahead and take my blow dryer and give these guys a once over. And since our other camera does not have a memory card in it, all right, close your ears for a moment. Do is this is actually going to be the bottom of the tray, and then this will be the center. Hang on, nope, this will be the center and this will be the top. So with the 3-tier tray, the pie pan, the pizza pan's the bottom, the pie pan is the center, and the cake pan will be the top. After you have painted it, and again I use chalk paint, you can distress it by just going through and adding some random sanding. So just so that a little bit of the metal is showing through, and it kind of helps give it that distressed look. Now I am going to throw a coat of Mod Podge on here because obviously I don't want the chalk paint to come off. It's an acrylic paint and it may very well wash off, but we want that kind of rustic look to it, right? So now we'll take a little bit of Mod Podge and I'm just going to give it a quick coat, nothing too heavy. And that way it will have a protective coating on it. And of course, you know, the tray might get dusty in a little while, in a month or two. And I might want to wash it off. So we've got that side done. I'm going to set that off to the side. Do the same thing with each one of our layers. Give it kind of a random distressed look. Distress as much or as little as you want. All right, there's tray number 2. This one is still just a smidge wet, so hang on. I like this too because you don't necessarily have to put an even coat on here of the chalk paint. That kind of helps give it that vintage look. And this little guy, so how many of you have a tiered tray now? You know, that's kind of a current trend right now, are the different tiered trays. And if you go on Pinterest, you can see lots and lots of ideas on how to utilize the tiered trays, decorate them. I actually got one myself a few months back at one of the local department stores, and it's cute as a button. But this one's going to be cute too, and it'll be a lot cheaper. Okay, so we have that. I think the only thing left I have to Mod Podge is on the back of that, and it's still drying. So let me give it one more quick. Let's see if that will get us to where we need to be. It just might. It's still a little damp there. Okay. Let me go ahead. I actually planned on layering here, so let me take that piece off. I'm going to set it aside just in case I need it again. So we're going to take our pizza pan and one of our candlesticks. Now, this is where the candle would sit in, the little tea light candles. I'm actually going to turn that upside down, and I'm going to find the center of our tray. And we're going to apply our E6000 right around the rim of this. So this will actually be the bottom. A nice generous helping towards the inside so that when I put it down on the tray, when I push it out, if it oozes at all, I don't necessarily want it to ooze right out of the edge. Now I'm going to go over it with a string of hot glue for that instant seal. And go right back here. And that's pretty well centered right there. Awesome. Then we're going to repeat that right on top of this rim by adding some more glue. And a little hot glue. I just need a thin line of hot glue here. And we're going to take our next layer and center it right on top, just like that. Make sure that we're all centered. And apply a little pressure there. Okay, now we're going to repeat this process one more time. And guess what? You already know the drill. Repetition, repetition. Go in the center of this pan. And I do want my, so I'm trying to make sure that my candlesticks are lined up appropriately here. So this one has the wire on the side, and this one lines up with that, so they're not cattywampus. Repeat that process again. And if you're just tuning in, y'all, I use the E6000 and hot glue. The E6000 will take at least 24 hours to cure and set up, where the hot glue will give us more of an instant adhesion. And all right. Definitely going to hold this down for a minute and let it set up. as I said, you can go on to Pinterest and you can look at all kinds of cute ideas on how to decorate these trays. You know, your little figurines, knickknacks. You can use, for right now, you can stick a poinsettia in here along with, you know, a candy cane. You can just do all kinds of things. I use it for more decorative, not necessarily for food. But the three-tiered trays are so popular right now. You can use the clear candlesticks in between, but I liked the more farmhouse look of having the black in there. You can put a pretty bow right around here, and I don't want to do too much moving with it yet because I want it to set really well. But great on the counter, coffee table, mantle. Possibilities are endless. So here is what I've done with one of my tiered trays. Battery operated. And you can do all kinds of fun things. So you can change them out for the season. I don't know if you all can see that, but there's some little lights that we just added in there just to kind of help with the glow. But there's all kinds of fun things that you can add. I got the beads from Hobby Lobby. Of course, I made this. The cup is a Ray Dunn cup that was a gift. I've got my little gingerbread, and then I also have out on my table other cute things, you know, that kind of coordinates with this. If you get the little bottle brush trees, they look great on your tiered trays, and depending on where, you know, you can do different layers. You just have to look at the height of what you're working with and work around that.